Unlike the defensive side of the football, the Georgia Bulldogs have plenty of weapons returning on the offensive side of the ball. And there are a few guys who I think have a chance to have a breakout season in 2022. And that's basically what this video is about. I've got a few guys in mind who I think are going to have monster seasons in Athens this upcoming season. The first guy I want to talk about is, of course, Kendall Milton. If you follow recruiting, you know how big of a deal he was coming out of high school, high four-star running back. Big, powerful, bruising guy who breaks a lot of tackles. He was a high four-star that Georgia landed. He chose Georgia over Ohio State, Alabama, a number of different schools. Last year, of course, sitting behind James Cook and Zamir White, dealt with some injury issues. But when this guy is healthy, I do think he could be one of the best backs in college football this upcoming season. We saw what he can do in the spring game. We've seen what he can do in the past when he is healthy. When he's got the ball, he is so tough to bring down by just one defender, breaks tackles, can make plays out of the backfield. We saw him catch a big touchdown in the spring game. He's got soft hands, so he can beat a defense in a number of different ways. And there's a reason they went out to California to get him in the 2020 class. He was one of the top running back prospects in the country. They knew it. They went after him hard, and they were able to land his signature. So they have a big plan for him. They're going to use him often when he is healthy. Only really has to share the ball with Kenny McIntosh. Dejan Edwards is going to get his carries. Again, probably more in garbage time situations. He'll have a bigger role this year, but it is going to be Kendall Milton and Kenny McIntosh as the 1-2 punch in Athens, and I think both are going to have a big season. They both waited their turn. They've both had opportunities, when they can get them, but with Zamir White and James Cook out, Georgia is still going to run the football, right? They're still going to try to pound the defense late in games, wear them down, and establish the run. And Kendall Milton is a guy who they can absolutely do that with. He can carry the load, get tough yards. He's great around the goal line. And again, when he's in the open field, he is faster than people realize. So definitely a guy who I think is going to have a breakout season. We know what Kenny McIntosh can do. He's had an excellent career, but this year I think Kendall Milton is going to have that gigantic season that we've all kind of been waiting for. On the offensive line, has to be Broderick Jones, right? He came in when they needed him last year, played excellent at left tackle when they moved Jamari Sawyer inside at guard. And when he was in there, he showed why. He was another five-star prospect out of high school from Lithonia. Another guy from the 2020 class, one of the top offensive tackle prospects in the country. And when he's in there, he's making an impact. Long, lean, athletic frame, exactly how you draw him up at tackle. Came in, again, did really, really well. I expect him to hold down that left tackle position, have an outstanding year, and possibly be a first-round pick in next year's NFL draft. So he gets guys on the ground. He does his job. He's learning. He's continuing to get better and better. Played, great last year towards the end of the year and against Alabama and against other, big-time players. He did that as a sophomore. Going into his junior season, this is the year where, it's a money-making year, especially for guys at tackle. Warren McClendon has locked down that right tackle spot. I think he's going to make a lot of money one day. But Broderick Jones, I think, is going to emerge as one of the top left tackles in college football this year. You can run behind him. He's obviously, knows how to protect the quarterback at the left tackle spot. He's got those long arms. He moves well. He's got great footwork. He's not fat by any means. He's not some giant, big ball out there. He's athletic, and he can move those feet and use those long arms to protect the passer. So he's a guy who I think his stock is only going to rise in the offseason. I think he's a guy that NFL teams are going to really, really like what they see from him this upcoming year. So I expect him to dominate at left tackle. That's good things for Stetson Bennett. That's good things for Kendall Milton, the others as well. So a third guy, we love the tight ends over at Dog Post. My guy, Oscar Delph, had an outstanding G-Day, led the team in receiving. Listen, Brock Bowers is going to be the guy, right? Probably the best player on the entire offense. You have Darnell Washington. Eric Gilbert could play some tight end, could play some receiver. He's another breakout candidate, but Oscar Delph brings something that Brock Bowers brings. He's an excellent receiving tight end. The more tight ends Georgia uses, the better they are. You can put two out there. You can put three tight ends out there. And that's when Georgia's out their best. So if you want to double Brock Bowers, if you want to scheme as a defense, make sure he doesn't beat you, a guy like Oscar Delph can come in and do a lot of the same things. He's great after the catch. He's tough to bring down. He's got big, strong hands, can bring in a a tough ball in traffic, runs really well. I know him as well as anyone out there. I saw him play in high school more than anyone else. I know what he can bring to the table, and I've been talking about it for a long time now. I expect him to see the field as a freshman, maybe not light it up. I'm not expecting him to come in and put up Brock Bowers type of numbers, but he's an option. He's definitely a weapon. Todd Hartley loves him for a good reason. And I think eventually he's going to be a big household name, not only for Georgia fans, but for college football fans across the country. But first year, you know, it makes sense for him to sit a little bit behind guys like Brock Bowers, Darnell Washington, but I think he's going to play. And I think, you know, if teams do try to scheme around Brock Bowers, that we could see more of Oscar Delph in there. So there's lots of weapons at tight end, at wide receiver. I'm going to talk about another one in a second, but Oscar Delph is a guy who I think is going to come in and maybe have one of the better seasons of any incoming freshman on the team. He's just too good. He's too good of a receiver. And he's such a mismatch for him to be sitting on the bench for too long. Eventually, we're going to see a lot of Oscar Delph. I think he's going to have a big season. Now, another pass catcher, my guy, a lot of people have forgotten about, Dominic Blaylock, one of the top receivers in the country out of high school in 2019. We saw what he did as a freshman. I can't stop talking about him because we keep hearing he's dominating, right? He's coming off 2 serious knee injuries. It only makes sense for him to drop down the depth chart and see some of these younger guys like A.D. Mitchell, Ladd McConkey, and maybe a few others pass him. But if he's healthy, I think he's going to have a big year. The guy knows how to run routes. It's not like he forgot that. He's got quick feet. He's got excellent hands. He can help in the return game. He's just a very, very natural receiver. He's fluid. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play the position. And, you know, we've been hearing that he had an excellent spring and was just really killing some of those defensive backs out there. So he's a guy that I think Georgia fans are going to, you know, remember early on the season. Oh, yeah, this Don Blaylock kid can actually play. He's really good. I think I remember seeing him make a lot of plays in 2019. So hasn't played the last 2 years. This will be his 4th season. And again, if he wants to play football at a professional level, he needs to have a big 4th season. And he's got the talent to do it. He's got the hands. He's got the ability to run routes, create separation. He is a big-time playmaker. And yeah, A.D. Mitchell might be their number 1 guy. We know Ladd McConkey needs the football in his hands. We've got Eric Gilbert. We'll see if they bring in anyone from the transfer portal as well. But Dominic Blaylock, a guy that Georgia fans should not forget about. I think he's going to have a big year and surprise a lot of people coming off 2 serious knee injuries so far during his career. So those are just 4 guys who I think have the potential to have a massive breakout season in 2022. Someone's got to step up, right? They did lose starting 2 running backs. They missed George Pickens, no Jermaine Burton, but there are plenty of opportunities and just so much talent on the offensive side of the ball for these guys not to have big seasons. So I have a lot of expectations, not only for those 4 guys, but the entire offense. We'll see how it goes, but those are 4 guys that I think you should keep an eye on for the upcoming season. Thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I'll see you over on Dog Post.